Anyway, here's Mel. Hey! How are you doing? Please, Mel, step in the light.
Right,
let's make a good setting. If you sit there, the light is good. Yeah.
Good lighting.
Yeah. So
okay.
is this your good side? Should I take the
I
other?
don't know. I've just reapplied my makeup. So
okay. So this is perfect.
Okay. Fantastic.
Hi Mel.
Hello.
I just got to know you. You're here as a speaker or as a
yes, I'm here as a speaker. Yeah.
Okay. And I just talked to some people like Lauren Brown, and they were talking about you. And I had to know you. That was the advice. So
I'm sure none of it is true. Yes.
Okay, so you live in England?
No, so I now live in the United States, and I lived in England for 10 years.
For 10 years,
yes.
Okay. And originally you are
from the United States.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you're back
in the old US of A. Yeah.
And I heard you have an interesting internet page.
Yes, so this is the evidence-based acupuncture, yes, okay. So this is a really cool non-profit that I'm directing with the help of a really talented team and a pretty big growing group of talented volunteers who are helping with writing, editing, translating, and we're basically producing very high quality information summaries about acupuncture's evidence for public consumption. So not using our language that we trained with, but language that our patients and our medical colleagues will understand, and for the purpose of you to use it as it is there, or to repurpose it as you will. So you can localize it, you can rebrand it, you can take it down a notch, you can take it up a notch, but hopefully saving some time and just helping use our kind of intellectual and monetary resources wisely by having this all in one place.
That's
so that
great.
And
and where did you get the research from? Do you do research yourself, or do you...
I read research and interpret it. So research is pumped out so rapidly. Now, I mean, I can go into that a little bit, but the bottom line is it's published faster than anyone can read it.
And who does this research? Where does it come from?
Yeah, okay, good question. I mean, so when we're talking about Chinese medicine and acupuncture research, then it is more universities, certain countries. The United States has been a big supporter. Even the UK, NICE has been a big supporter. German insurance company has done some good research, and obviously China and other countries do. And then more globally, there's this kind of rise of research that's being funded by industry, medical industry, to just kind of pump forth their message as well. So I feel that it's at this point in time it's more important to be able to interpret research than to publish research. I mean, both are important.
But you say the medical industry?
Yes.
So the pharmaceutical companies, or
pharmaceutical companies and like the journal publishing industry itself. So they realize that that professors and other academics are under pressure to publish. So they set up journals where they need to pay, and then they will publish it. So these are called predatory journals, and they're kind of flooding the market with.
But why would they do research about acupuncture, or it's not their field of interest, right? Or?
So that's more of a statement in general of medical published knowledge, but it's also happening with acupuncture as well. So it just is. I think it's commensurate to its input into medicine.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
And you're a speaker at this congress.
Yeah.
What is it about?
What is it about? Okay. It's what is it about? It's about. Let's see. It's about evidence-based acupuncture. So I had the opportunity to speak today and tomorrow about the organization, how people can get involved, such as yourself. And I'm speaking. Let's see, what did I speak about this afternoon? Okay, a little bit about acupuncture's role in solving the opioid epidemic. So here's an example of a really big public health issue. It's particularly concentrated in the United States at the moment, but it actually is a global issue, and unfortunately, it looks like it will become a global issue where we as acupuncturists and acupuncture researchers and individuals can really play a big role in prevention and education and solving legitimately. So I spoke a bit about that, and then tomorrow I will speak about a little bit about the biochemistry of acupuncture. So an area that I think a central focusing theory that I think might be a useful thing for us to focus on just when we communicate with other people about how acupuncture works, how it can treat so many different things, and really good solid science behind it. So not science that research that I've done, but just that I've read and other people have read. And then in the afternoon I'll speak about how to communicate about acupuncture research with medical colleagues. One thing I really enjoy hearing about is people who have decided to address local doctors' surgeries, doctors' offices, or hospitals, and they want to talk about how acupuncture can benefit their patients, and just wanting a little bit of like talking points about what to say about that, and so that's what this will be.
That's cool. Now I wanted to ask you about how do you see the future for our field? What certain things do we need to do more, and what kinds of things, like the do's and don'ts? So what kind of things should we stop doing, or you mentioned already a couple, which is brilliant, you know, share the knowledge, get real evidence on the table, get a language which explain easier to the patients what we are doing, so to get more the broader public acquainted with TCM. I myself do it in a little way to give a lecture to laymen, just to explain, like it's an introduction course in Chinese medicine, or 3 evenings or maybe 5 evenings, and I'm just, you know, go a little bit around all the different terminology and aspects of TCM, and they love it.
Yes.
And I hope to create little ambassadors, and they go around and talk high of acupuncture.
Yes.
But to come back to the question, what kind of things do you see that we need to do more, or how can we help this field, or how do you see the future?
Okay, so in terms of how I see the future, I think it's really positive. This is a really excellent time for Chinese medicine practitioners and for public health and the effect that we can have. You know, we know that we help our patients, and I feel like this is a very pivotal time where, depending on what country you're in, we're starting to see some of the downsides of the way conventional medicine has been practiced, and so there are positive aspects to it, and there's also been principles that have been misapplied, and so we can serve patients in a way that, as we know, that are not being served, and we can get better at communicating that. So I see, by understanding the playing field, understanding what's going on in public health and our more realistic role of where we fit into that, I think that we do stand a very good chance of being the future of medicine if we can grow into those shoes. When I say that not in a condescending way, I know many of us have come from, you know, being doctors or nurses or researchers, but just in our, in our practice selves. But then kind of more internally, just knowing, I suppose, just waking up knowing that the world, that everything is as it should be, and that and waking up knowing that being present isn't enough. You know, just before we look at what we can do outside, we're just being present with patients. And again, this is not meant to be condescending. I'm not any sort of, I'm not lecturing, but just sometimes it can seem like things are so complicated and so hard and so wrong, and that just showing up and intentionally focusing on the good and intentionally focusing on what is good can help us act with more agency in what the future becomes. And we don't want to skip that part, and particularly I think for those of us who are very analytical and intellectual and science motivated and all that, to not forget to be present with ourselves and with our patients, because the reason why I'm saying that now is because that is everything. Not because I've had 3 pints, but because that is everything, and that is what will give us the clarity of mind to keep ourselves and our patients at the focus as we bring our medicine into the future of medicine.
Great. Any do's or don'ts?
Do's or don'ts? do the internal work first. And I'm saying that because I've gone through a period of not doing that. So, and now getting back into that, reminding myself before you get up and start tackling your to-do list, make sure you sit quietly. So
that is, as a therapist, do your internal work. So meditate in the morning, do your qigong.
Whatever that looks like for you. Yeah, it could be meditation. It could be and I don't want to be prescriptive. I'm not like peddling some sort of particular brand of Kool-Aid or.
But make sure you got your own business straightened out. Your own health.
Your internal. Yeah,
okay.
I mean specifically internal. Like we can even use our own health as a distraction.
Yeah.
Okay. So and you are so if you're kind of you're not comfortable sitting, so you're like off exercising, off doing nutrition and taking supplements, which are all things that we all recommend and know are important. But if you're not comfortable in that quieter space, we're not going to be able to be completely just effective in our life and as practitioners. So again, I'm not saying this as someone who has that in order. I'm saying that as someone who's remembering how important that is. So I'll just hopefully that resonates.
Okay.
And don't look too much at other people to figure out what you should be doing. So another trap that is easy to fall into, and again I only say because I continuously fall into this trap, is feeling like I think that we all need to continue to learn. That I believe is healthy, but do not fall into the trap of thinking that you need to learn because you don't feel confident in your own skills, and that if you just learn one more thing, then you'll feel confident. Because confidence does not come from knowledge.
Yeah.
Really, it comes from somewhere else.
So find your own strength and use that as an leaving point, as a
yes.
Yeah.
Yes, as a center.
As a starting point.
Point, yes.
Because you already know so much. You can already do so much for patients.
You already know so much. You already can do so much from patients, and it's almost like the same muscle we're trying to help grow in our patients, we need to grow in ourselves. So with our patients, we know it's not about telling them what to do. It's really about listening and having that kind of guiding force. But then sometimes, and I guess I'm really speaking for myself here and hoping that it's helpful and resonating, because we're all in different places and we're all doing different things. But just knowing that confidence comes from somewhere else, and if we can tap into that and grow that, then we have a really healthy place for new knowledge to fall.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna cut it here, but can you show us your T-shirt, because I saw it already from.
So yeah.
Business. Okay, this is great. Where can we buy this?
Cool. So this was not pre-arranged. So you can get your own T-shirt powered by acupuncture. Yes, on evidence-based-acupuncture.org. Yes, on our website, and it's a way to raise funds for us. So it's not going to be the most economical T-shirt you ever buy, but it's cool to wear and it helps support the work that we're doing. Go ahead.
Okay. Well, let's wait for.
Cool. Thank you very much, and hello to all of you. Okay. Come here next year. It's
exactly. That's the main message. Come here next year. Okay. Thank you, Mel.
Yeah. Thank you.